I'm going to be going over my summer book recs for you guys while I get ready. Okay, so the first book or books on this list are basically everything Emily Henry has ever written, not including like her YA books. I'm talking about just her adult books. And that includes Beach Read, Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, Funny Story, and Happy Place. And listen, words cannot describe how much I love these books. Like, if you guys have been here for a while, you know how much I love them. But I'm gonna give like a one-sentence summary for each of the books for any of you who like have not read them or don't know what they're about. Beach Read is about two college rivals who are authors turned neighbors, and they decide to switch genres for the summer. Book Lovers is about a literary agent and an editor who are rivals at work, and then they meet again in a small town, and it's like their romance. So it has like small town vibes. Grumpy's like, actually they're both grumpy. There's no grumpy sunshine. People We Meet on Vacation is about two best friends who used to go on a trip every year together until one year something goes wrong, and then this is them 2 years later trying to like reconcile that. It's not my favorite of hers, but it's still like a really good book, especially if you love best friends to lovers. Happy Place is about a couple, Harriet and Wynne, who broke up months ago but have to still pretend to be together during like an annual week-long trip with their friends. And Funny Story, her newest book, follows Daphne and Miles as they're forced to be roommates after their respective boyfriend and girlfriend break up with them for each other. And just so you know, this book came out in April, and I read it twice since then, and it's currently like June 10th, so yeah, do with that what you will. Anyway, now we're moving away from the Emily Henry, and so we have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, and I've read all of Carly Fortune's books, and I'm not the biggest fan, but I did like Meet Me at the Lake, and it does have the summer vibes, so I'm going to be recommending it. It's about these two people who meet in their 20s in Toronto, and they spend a whole day together, and then they decide to meet 1 year from then at the lake. But then the guy doesn't show up. And then years later, like when they're like adults, like I think they're when they're in their 30s, they meet again, and their lives are completely different. And it's like, why didn't you show up then? And like they have all these unresolved feelings, and it's like, it's good. The tension's good. Okay, and then I have The Stationery Shop by Marhan Kamali, and I know I've recommended this book so many times on my channel, but I'm never gonna stop because it's such a good book. And for those of you who don't know, it's about these two people. Okay, I keep saying two people as if like, what else is it gonna be about? But anyway, it's about these two people who meet in a stationery shop when they're young, and then they end up falling in love, and they decide to get married. But one day there's a riot, and then the main girl, she gets a letter from the guy saying like, oh, I can't marry you, I don't think we're fit for each other, blah blah. And then it kind of switches between like past timeline when all this happened, when they were falling in love, versus like in the future when she's married, he's married, she has kids, she's literally like good, like she's set and everything. And then she runs into him again, and it's like all these like questions that she never got to ask, and like all these questions that have kind of been haunting her for the past like 50 years or something. It's like, why did you leave? Why weren't you there? Why did you say we couldn't get married? Like, blah, 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 all these things. And it's like such a heartfelt book, and it's like it touches on so many important things, and I genuinely recommend it to like everybody. Next, I recommend The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is an urban fantasy, and it follows this group of boys and this girl named Blue, who's been told by every psychic she's ever talked to that if she kisses her true love, he'll die. And they basically like go on a hunt looking for this dead Welsh king. And the found family in this, and like the relationships and the group dynamic, like this is what I mean when I say found family. When I say I like found family, this is exactly what I mean. And like they're so fleshed out, the characters, and they're so whimsical and they're so fun, and I can't recommend this book enough. Like I genuinely cannot. It's so good, and it's so entertaining, and like I don't know, it's just so comforting to read. Then I have The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. And listen, I know everyone and their mother recommends this book in the summer, and it's not my favorite series ever. It's a little like juvenile. Okay, it's not the greatest, but it's just like a really fun summer read. Like I remember reading in the summer, and I remember having like a great time. Will it win any prizes for like its lyrical prose? No, but it's just so fun to read, and it's just like, I don't know, the vibes. It's just the vibes, okay? No plot, just vibes. And of course, after you read it, you can watch the show if you haven't already. because that show is the only reason I'm alive right now. Okay? Then there's Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and as per the name, it takes place in Malibu and it follows these like siblings, the Riva siblings, and it follows them all throughout just like one day when they throw this like huge annual party. And this year, like, Malibu catches on fire during the party, and it kind of like follows each of the siblings as they like kind of hold their own secrets, their own like problems, and they're hiding all these things from each other, and it kind of implodes metaphorically and literally. And yeah, then there's The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, and I don't read a lot of mysteries, but I actually genuinely enjoyed this one. And it follows this psychologist whose name I forgot, but he is like assigned to this patient, the silent patient, and she was this really famous artist who randomly shot her husband 7 times and then never spoke again for like the next like 3 or something years. And so he's assigned to like kind of make her to talk, kind of make her to like open up and stuff. And I kind of predicted the ending, but a lot of people didn't. So I would say it's like pretty shocking because like I predicted it, but I was just like, no way it's possible. So then I just like kind of forgot about it, and then it did end up happening. Then there's the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which has 4 books, and it follows Cassie, who joins like the Naturals program at the FBI. Like she's recruited to it because she has like this natural ability for profiling, and she meets a bunch of other teenagers who have like similar abilities to hers, and they solve crime. Yeah. And then there's The Inheritance Games also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which follows a girl named Avery who inherits this huge fortune from this really, really rich guy. And one of the terms of her inheriting the fortune is that she has to live at his estate with his 2 daughters and his 4 grandsons. And of course, everyone's really, really suspicious of her because they're like, who is she? Why did she inherit our fortune? All that stuff. And so there's mystery, there's puzzles, there's, a love triangle, and all the fun stuff. Finally, we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which follows this girl named Pippa, who for her final year project decides to solve like this really old case in her town. And it's a 3-book series. I actually haven't read the last 2.
Pretty hurts, just need